Are you Mandalorian?
I'm a simple man making his way through the galaxy, like my father before me.
3 Men and a Baby Yoda podcast. Matthew, Dylan, Callan.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 40 of the 3 Men and a Baby Yoda podcast. We are suffering from a major downer after the Star Wars celebration, 3 episodes of Kenobi in, but we have a full house tonight. Joining me are my 3 amigos, Callan Gardner, Dylan Chikalis, and the COVID-infected Matthew Thurbin. Turbo, how are you? We have finally met in person. We have a real human-to-human interaction. How are you, my buddy?
I'm good, yeah. As you mentioned, I came down with COVID. I managed to avoid it for, 2.5, 3 years, but celebration did it to me. So at least I have a good story about how I got it. But yeah, feeling fine, and it was great to finally meet you, Matt. I think it actually took us till the second day, maybe, to meet.
Well, you were too busy getting COVID from Amoeba Records, I reckon.
That's probably it, yeah, down in Hollywood. But it's interesting times. Had a great time. As you mentioned, it's a bit of post-celebration blues at the moment, but working through that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that come down after after a music festival, but much nerdier. So I'm going to move to the last person I've seen second now, and that's Dylan. How are you, buddy? Shaq left for dead.
I've been left for dead. I've got massive celebrations FOMO. I'm doing well though, mate. I'm doing well though. It's good to have the boys back. I feel like I haven't been on the pod for a while. I feel like we haven't podded as a 4 for a while.
You've had prior obligations, and now just tell us. I'm seeing some you've got the cleanest wall of all the backgrounds, mate. It's the shiny,
we need to
shiny
fix
new
this
penny
situation.
you've got there.
Yes, so we've moved into my new unit. I'm about 2-3 weeks in, and I'm just waiting for this whole internet drama to be sorted out. But for the moment, I've got a solution, and it seems like it's working well. So,
is that where the collection's going to start? Is that the collection room?
Well, look, I think perfect right here
is perfect.
A triangle stand and a quite a big one, and bang, there's your collectibles there.
I think Kenobi poster will go lovely on that wall.
Poster, whether it's here, there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it, mate. Send it my way.
I actually caught Dill. We were driving. We live out west Sydney, and we were driving to my house and my new house, and I'm like, 98 Shaq, that's Dill's number plate. And I pull up next to him, and he's just got in his new house, heading to Costco to fit it all out. So it was very funny.
Yeah.
You look like a tired man, actually.
I don't know what instinct kicked in. I'm just like, I feel like someone's looking at me to my left, turn over, and then there are you and Steph with your windows down. Hey, Dill.
Was Dill driving with like his hand on the wheel and like the gangster?
He looked tired, like he just moved. That's what he looked like.
I was exhausted.
Wow. And finally, mate, Cal, how are you, buddy?
Mate, I'm on a Kenobi high. I've been loving the celebrations and seeing all the updates, and I'm hyped to be a Star Wars fan. It's been pretty cool. I do have a bit of FOMO from you guys for sure, but I'm glad I knew someone or people that went. So it's seeing some of the photos and seeing some of the pictures have been pretty cool. So no, I've had a good couple of weeks. Been cruising. I'm glad I don't have COVID, but I'm good.
Yeah, well, like Turbo says, he's very proud that he got it from a worthwhile cause. He'd never admit that to his wife. He's come home to Australia early on his wife's birthday, and I actually joined him on the flight because my wife was demanding I come home sooner. So I booked. I thought I'll save some money on the cab fare, and I'll chat to Turbo all the way home. And we thought it was a good strategy, and that we would book the back of the plane, right, so that we could be the first people to pounce on any spare rows. And then Turbo booked a row away from me because he thought I was going to kick him in the back of the plane chair or like tap him for conversation. And it looked like we were doomed because we got on the plane and started to fill up, but then we both got a seat next. We got 2 or 3 seats spare to each other, and we slept the whole way home. And I didn't sit next to him, and I probably would have come home with COVID if I did. So it worked out well for everyone.
Was there any jet lag?
None for me.
No, none for me, no.
How good?
I think part of it was, there's a lot of late nights and, long days and lots of walking.
Yeah.
So you never really got a chance to get in a cycle. So you were just generally had a general tiredness all the time, but also the hype and the positivity of celebration kind of kept you awake. So yeah, I don't have any jet lag at all.
So how was the hype when you got on the plane? And we talked about it last time, getting that. It was a little bit, you're waiting for the hype. Was it like when you were landing or something? I know LA's a bag of shit, but was it, when you got there, was it pretty awesome?
Yeah. So my first day I landed at 7 a.m. and, I met up with the scruffy looking podcasters at, sort of downtown Hollywood, LA, and went to Amoeba Records and did a few things around there. So sort of jumped straight into that. And that was, nowhere near Anaheim, of course, but yes, that started the hype, meeting up with people straight away, off a long haul flight. And, it was good, but it sort of kicked in, I guess, Matt, probably the next morning, I guess, when, you have to start queuing and the frantic nature of, the massive queues and the crowds building up on that first day was pretty intense.
No, I agree.
Just like camping.
I arrived a day before Turbo. Couldn't check into the room until like 4:00, but I met that guy. I went for a piss in the toilets at the airport, and then I saw this guy with the Mandalorian tattoo on the back of his head. And then I was walking past, I know that symbol. And then Turbo texts me going, "Oh, Dave Sinclair Smith's on the same flight as you. Go find him." And we were sitting next to each other on the plane. Funnily enough, the guy with the Mandalorian tattoo on the back of his neck, and just started talking. Next thing I know, we land in LA. We share a cab, and then I just hung out with him for like 10 hours until I could check in. I ended up having a little sleep on his spare hotel room, and we just watched Rebels and checked out the convention center, and then checked into the hotel or our Airbnb, and then I met with the Scruffy Boys in downtown Disney, and yeah, mate, it just never stopped from there. It was just all systems go after that.
Oh, sorry, before we get into the detail, Turbo, did you get some bloody movies in on the flight, or did you just zonk out? Because I know that you were
zoned out. I think I watched a bit of Stranger Things, but generally just slept the whole way. Probably slept about a good 9 hours. So,
not bad. That's probably good. That's probably a good thing. Crack in 7 a.m.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, it was a long day. So landing 7 a.m. on the 25th. I actually flew out on the 10 a.m. on the 25th and landed at 7 a.m. a few hours before on the same day. So that 25th was just a massive long day. I think we ended up, we did downtown Hollywood. We went to Danny Trejo's taco joint. We went to, where did we go? We went to the Funko store down there. We went to Scum and Villainy Cantina down in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard. Checked out all the stars. And it was just such a long day. I think we met up with Steele and others down at, what was that hotel called? That
Hotel
night? It was just such a
California?
long day. Yeah, something like that. Some California hotel, something. But yeah, it was literally it felt like a 48-hour day to me, just nonstop. So
And then celebration started the next day.
that for me, yeah, it started the next day.
No,
That's crazy.
stupidly, I wore new shoes to America, walked around 20Ks day 1, 20Ks day 2, sort of like I thought I cracked my heel or bruised it really badly. So I was like hobbling around Anaheim for about 2 or 3 days, and I ended up getting some painkillers and orthotics to sort of fix my foot.
You might have what I've got at the moment, Matt. It's something like plantar fasciitis or something like that.
Plantar fasciitis, yeah.
I've got that, but I wore sensible shoes. Matt wore a brand new. You don't wear a brand new pair. It's a rookie era. You don't wear new shoes.
Yeah,
rookie era. I wore the most
look at this guy.
comfortable,
Goes to
boring
celebrations
shoes
twice.
Yeah.
Rookie.
Yeah, well,
he
I
won't do
was-
it again.
I was hobbling around Disneyland and
How was Disneyland?
Disneyland was good. I went second day with Josh and Araj and Catherine and a few of the other bad motivators and Sithless boys, and yeah, we went and did a lot of stuff in advance, and it was really good.
You saw the Star Wars area. What's it called?
Galaxy's Edge.
How was that?
That was awesome. The rides are insane.
Yeah.
Like, they're so interactive. I've got a 4-minute video if you want to spoil it of the whole ride, which is allowed. But it's really interactive. It's pretty sick.
That video, is that where then everyone turned on their lightsabers?
No,
And,
that was like a 10:30 lightsaber meetup on Disney night. So
that was like Goosebumps Central. That was sick.
That was very
all the
cool.
music. Yeah.
What about your secret photo that you decided to? Not secret, but you took a photo in front of a certain special someone.
What?
The fake Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen spotting.
Oh, so Josh Chapman owes me the chosen one. So I'll tell you what, we're walking in Galaxy's Edge, and I'm on my phone, like texting someone back in Sydney, I think. And I literally just start texting, and I'm just aware of my surrounds, but I'm not really paying attention. And so then I just stop, and I sort of lean on this person a bit, like I give my back like this, and I'm just texting, and then I get this tap on my shoulder from Josh, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Come on, let's go." And I'm like, "Yeah, 1 sec." And then he just pulls me away, and then gives the thumbs up to this person. Because I was sort of lurking around them, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was just texting. I was so engrossed in my phone, as you know. And then I go, Josh, what was that? He's like, "Dude, that's Hayden Christensen." I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Holy fuck, it is too. We have to go back." He's like, "No, leave him alone." I'm like, "Nah, dude, I have to go." He's like, "No, you're gonna leave him alone. Everyone's being cool." And I look around, and everyone's like, "Do it. Hayden Christensen's right there." And everyone was literally just...
Was it actually him? Or
It was him. And
Yeah, it was him.
It was 100%.
I wasn't there, but
It was him. And then I took a photo as close as I could, and then Josh took another photo for me. And then for the next 5 minutes, I was like, "We have to go back." He's like, "Don't." He's done a class act. He's like, I just looked at him, gave him a thumbs up, and
you
left.
touched him?
No, that's what Josh did. Josh gave him a thumbs up. So
Yeah,
I was
but
like,
you accidentally touched him. Your back did, so there you go.
yeah, I sort of mini bumped into him, or just hung around the area
Assaulted.
unbeknowing and lurked, if you will. And then for the next about 3 hours, I was whinging to Josh how he owes me Hayden Christensen, and we should have gone back. I can't let it go. But and then we're like, well, he's definitely going to be on the panel tomorrow for Celebration. But everyone was at the park. Actually, Eckstein was there, and Anthony Daniels apparently was there, and they were just around there. Even Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were there. So we didn't see them, but they were just doing their thing for the Disney logo.
Yeah.
So that was a good little precursor, and yes, the photo is real. And he had a wheelchair kid with him, so I think he was doing some sort of Make-A-Wish kid thing. That's why Josh is like, "Don't spoil it for that kid with your own selfish agenda."
That's fair.
So I was the bigger man, and I didn't. And I also said to him,
hold on, barely. Thanks to Josh.
But I would have normally just said, "No, Josh, get fucked. I'm doing that," but I didn't. Yeah. And I also said he might like to know that they call me the chosen one at work, so we're two chosen ones. And he said, "I don't think he's going to care for that story." And I said, "I think you might." So I wish I told him.
No, I'm glad you didn't. So what was your first panel? Tell me about your first panel.
Oh, fuck.
It's me, Dill, sitting back here just waiting.
Okay, well, first panel was of the first day was
No, Turbo. I want you to tell the story of how you almost missed the first panel because he was being cattled like some farm animal in the dungeon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, so on the first day it was kind of it's kind of confusing. You get to the con and no one's really telling you where to go. There's no signs.
It's fucking mayhem. Everyone's just going from anywhere.
you're just joining queues and going, what's this queue and what's this queue? And so we get funneled into this sort of underground, I guess it's like a huge basement. I mean, when I say huge, it's like an aircraft hangar almost. And so massive queues start there, just to get into the celebration hall or the main hall, right? But it's also to get into the first panel because we're on the Galaxy stage for the future of Lucasfilm panel. And then, so I queue up with, I think, Emily and David, as well. But so you're there queuing, probably for a good hour or so. And Josh, Catherine and Matt sort of rock up, 45 minutes later and just somehow,
walk
skip
in
that
the front.
queue, go straight in the front door, walk in the front door, up the escalators into the panel. And I'm like, how did you and that was the story of the whole celebration, is Matt just kind of jumping queues or pushing in at the right time. And
he does this everywhere he goes, man.
I had a bad influence on Turbo because we went to another panel afterwards and I was like, we're going to go to this. And he's like, and then I said, I'll show you what we'll do. So I would just walk past the queues and then turn around and then pretend like I was already in that original line, go, oh, sorry, I left my hat inside or something. And then I text Turbo, so I'm in. He's like, how the fuck did you get in? And then he would just get envy and then walk in as well. He just, but somehow we got lucky and just missed that thing. But we had tickets to the event, but Turbo's like, I don't think we're going to make it. We're stuck in this queue. And because on day one, there's like lines to line up for the standby line and lines to get into different stages and stuff. But there's one line to sort of just get into the general area. And somehow they got stuck in the wrong line. But after day one, it sort of sorted itself out. But the panel was insane.
Insane.
So what did they drop? Is this one where they dropped Tales of the Jedi,
No.
Visions 2, all this shit?
No.
We'll explain it. We were there. Just
Shut
quiet,
your
all right?
Cal.
All right.
Jesus.
All right, just mute your camera.
Mute your camera.
Mute your camera and your
Hold on.
mic.
There
Calm
we go.
down. So, first panel, John Favreau, Dave Filoni, I swear to God, I don't know, he had like 11 margaritas for breakfast or some bickies. He was off his tree. He was very, very fun. You agree, Turbo?
Yeah, I think he was probably high. He was high.
No, he was
Very high.
very high. And they're talking about the Mandalorian. We saw a secret Mandalorian trailer, and then it just got bigger and bigger. Andor, Diego Luna comes out. Mon Mothma comes out.
Was Catherine there?
Catherine was there. I was sitting next to her.
Yeah,
She was like, oh my God. So,
Finally, justice for Kath.
but
Actually, somehow I just thought I'd mention, even though you skipped the queue, somehow King Tom, Emily, and I made it to the third row from the front.
no, we saw you. We
I don't
saw
know
you.
how.
We saw you
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
past, but like we just saw some seats in the middle, and we thought we wanted them in the middle, not far left. So yeah, we were there before you. And then who came out after that? It just got even more and more insane. Kathleen Kennedy came out, and then Andor trailer came out. Then Harrison Ford and John Williams came out. Yeah, oh, that's right. There was a Willow trailer. I'm gonna have to watch that. That reminds me to watch that. The little guy from Willow, what's his name?
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis. That's it. And then the whole cast of Willow came out, and then Harrison Ford, John Williams, Indiana Jones.
Oh, that was insane. That was sick. I did watch that bit.
That was like Star Wars overload.
It was an overload. I mean, in hindsight, that would have been the panel that I would have loved to have been in for the absolute main arena stage, celebration stage. We were in the Galaxy stage, which is like the second biggest stage. We were watching it on big screens. But yeah, if I had my time again, I would have probably queued up for that main stage, because just seeing John Williams live was great on the screens, but being there in person would have been a lot better. But it was still amazing. It was all full of surprises.
Oh yeah, Hayden and Ewan came out as well. My Hayden from Disneyland the day before, and then and then they closed the panel saying, "Guys, we have a treat for you. We're going to show you the Kenobi world premiere tonight in this theater. Come back at 5:30 p.m. for a 7 p.m. viewing. If you get a wristband, you can come." And so, the people that got to go to the panel all came back, and all of a sudden that wristband became like the hottest black market ticket in the arena. So
it was great. It was great to see. I was a bit worried about what it was going to be like watching, Obi-Wan with thousands of people, but it was just such a great experience. Like, just amazing. Like feeling to what it was basically like watching a whole new film because it was 2 episodes and
I was going to say, did they give you both episodes?
Yeah, both episodes. Just such a great vibe as well. Like unbelievable.
Yeah, that's where you want to watch it with Star Wars people.
I mean, it's like watching at the cinema, but like on steroids because everyone's nuts for it. Like, I mean, most of the time you go to a cinema, they're pretty nuts for it, but this was a full. I think there was like 3,800 people in the room in the Galaxy stage and 20,000 in the celebration stage. So that would have been fever pitch. That's like the full conference thing, and after that was just so much to take in. I don't even remember what we did the rest of Monday. Like, did you go to any more panels after that?
No, I think I did mostly walk around the show floor and sort of chill out a bit for the evening session.
So what did you what was Visions 2? Is that what they talked about all this then? Visions 2 Skeleton Crew?
No, so they announced Skeleton Crew. They announced Jude Law and just the logo and sort of roughly where it's set. They didn't have obviously a teaser or anything, just the logo.
Yeah, the Mando timeline.
Yeah, that's right.
That'd be pretty sick.
So we got a Mando trailer. We didn't get Visions. So Visions was in a panel, I think, on the 3rd day, possibly. I didn't go to that one. I think you and Josh did.
No, just me.
Okay, yeah.
That's the one I bought my way into.
Oh, Matt bought his way into a lot of things, including Funkos.
So I met this person on the forums, like she goes selling Saturday Mandalorian panel, which that's the one you want to go to, and Funko. I'm like, well, hello, I'll take that. Yeah. She goes, all right, make an offer, like $50 US. I'm like, done. And she goes, I've just gotten out of an abusive relationship. I'm selling his tickets because he's not coming. I'm here with all my friends. I'm like, great, give me the barcodes. Here's my PayPal, goods and service. Josh is like, that barcode is never going to work. She's probably sold that story to about 10 guys and you're just a chump. But I went to the panel. It got in. So, yes, eat that, Josh. And then got the Funkos. So
that's a pretty sweet Funko.
So, no, that all worked out. But, day 2 panel, though, that was Light and Magic. It's like a documentary on this history of ILM. It was I reckon that was the filler panel, if anything. We were on the celebration stage. So that was, exciting for that. But that wasn't very exciting. As exciting. Well, it
wasn't exciting, but it was a lot of information and a lot of guests there. And I don't know, I personally like it. It was a bit more of a chilled panel compared to the previous day. The previous day was probably the most intense I've had in being kind of tired, jet lagged, and having such a long day, and watching. It
was an overdose, but
it was an overdose of a day.
And the food trucks outside, right? Because around lunchtime, they're like, "Oh, I can't be bothered waiting for an hour and a half to get a hot dog." So all the guys went to the restaurant around the corner, and I couldn't be bothered. So I had my foot problem. So I was like, I'll just line up for the celebration stage and try and get in. And because there's Attack of the Clones 20-year panel was on at 2 p.m. I went and sat down in the queue and it started moving straight away. So I managed to get in and no one else managed to get into that. I think you guys watched that from the live stage feed or something. And
yeah, we did. But that was really good. I probably would have gone into that one. It was much
awesome.
better than the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary at Chicago. It was because you had Tim Morrison. Tim Morrison was in fine form. He was
best on ground at the event. Yeah. Like him, Daniel Logan, Ashley Eckstein, and then some random people from the production team. I can't remember who. Small fresh, but and then you and
Matthew Wood, who does all the sound. John Knoll, just the guy who invented Photoshop. No big deal.
Nothing important. And then, but then you and Hayden came out, and it was just insane. And People were screaming. Like I got photos with the whole crowd lighting their lightsabers up like at Disneyland in the theater for Hayden, screaming and chanting, and Tem and Daniel Logan are just like reliving all their funny stories, and Tem's like, oh, I finished all my lines, and they called me over to England, and I had to do one more line, and I had to get to the Pinewood Studios and read, "Pack your things, we're leaving," and that was it, and then go back to New Zealand. But he actually got his memories not that good. He was like, "Pack your gear, we're leaving." I'm like, Tem, that's not the line. But it's been 20 years, and but he was in good form because the next day at the Mandalorian panel, that was insane. Like I was in Turbo, was at the watching Real Madrid beat his team at the British pub with all the Liverpool fans, and my God,
yeah,
John
I pretty much I missed pretty much most of the third day because I ended up deciding to go to this Liverpool FC Orange County Supporters Club. I went to a bar called Rock and Brews. It's about half an hour Uber away. Lined up, and the game was delayed, and ended up getting kind of drunk with a lot of Liverpool fans and drowned our sorrows because we lost. But and I think I made it back to celebration at about 3 p.m, maybe 3 or 4. So I missed a lot of that day. So I completely missed the Mando Plus panel. I know Matt was in there. I think Matt bought his way into there. But yeah, I've watched that recently. So that was another great panel.
It was so good. I'll tell you,
yeah.
John and Dave's not high this time. He was in good form. And then Pedro Pascal comes out. People going ape shit crazy. Yeah. Then Giancarlo Esposito, Emily Swallow the Armour, and Carl Weathers come out. Pretty heavy. Then Tem comes out, does a haka on stage for about a minute. Like full-on haka, like full Kiwi, like mental, going absolutely ballistic. Let me just have, and then Rosario Dawson comes out, and then they decide, so they show the Mandalorian trailer that we thought we saw on Thursday, and it's like 30 seconds longer than the one Turbo scene. There's Babu Fricks in it. I'm not kidding. It looks like there's full-on war in Mandalore. It's going to be.
How have I not seen this? Has this come out yet?
Because only me and Turbo have seen it.
You can't see it. So
only if you went to Celebration.
Are supposed to be exclusive, right? So some trailers were released. As an example, Andor trailer you can only dream of. Andor trailer was released straight away, so that wasn't exclusive. But the Mando trailer was exclusive. They basically said, "Don't put down your cameras, don't film this, or you get kicked out." And then, as Matt said on the Mando Plus panel, they played the same trailer plus 30 with seconds, extras. Which I missed, with extras.
So
Star Destroyers, Mandalorians fighting, people jumping out of planes. Yes. It's full on carnage.
It's common deal.
Paz Vizsla with an artillery gun shooting the sky. Like, it's all out carnage. Babu Fricks. I'm not lying. There was like 10 Babu Fricks in a row, like around. Baby Babus. I'm not lying.
And what was the other thing? What was the other thing, Matt? There was Ahsoka, and they showed a bit of footage there.
So then Rosario Dawson comes out, and they show an Ahsoka trailer. It's only been filming for 3 weeks, but it's going well. And they sort of mocked together a sort of trailer, and it starts off with Hera Syndulla live action walking on the ghost.
No way.
Yes. Then there's a cup and a hand, just a hand. Like these are just like stills, like sort of like really. There's not stills. They're sort of like really no digital graphics or anything. It's just scenes, but there's not too much work to it. And like there's a cup and a hand. That's Jason Syndulla using the Force.
Oh my God!
Jesus.
Then there's like Ahsoka taking off her headdress. Like, it's all very but it's cool. But it's all got the music. But then it finishes. Ahsoka, like the logo comes up, and then we're looking at the mural from the end of Rebels. The photo on the
I did see
and
that.
I was like, oh, that's nice. And then this head comes out of nowhere. This live action Sabine, and I'm like, oh my God. And
That's so good.
And then she comes out on stage, Natasha Lee Boaduzo or something, and talks about Sabine. And then Chopper, live action Chopper, comes on the stage. So like, I'm just like, as a
Dude,
Rebels lover, it was so good, and I'm just like, 50 of the best dollars I spent on this trip. And I was like, how's the game, Turbo? He's like, oh,
Yeah.
And so that
I picked the wrong thing to watch.
and that was just mental. And then they played the Mando trailer again, and I'm just like, because I was like, that was longer than the Thursday. That was longer. Everyone's like, yes, that seemed longer. And then John's like, we showed you a little bit longer than Thursday, and everyone's like fist bumping, and it's like, yes. And it was just insane. And then after that, I just went on. I was on the Tem and Ewan hunt after that. I had to sit in lines for the next 4 hours, but I ended up watching most of the Champions League in the line, just killing time. It took me about an hour and a half to get to Ewan for the signature, and that was all of 1 second. And then the photo was a lot quicker. It was about 20 minutes because I was in Group 1, and me and Kev from Scruffy's took the photo together, and I thought, what am I going to say to Ewan to sort of capture his attention? I can't be like, oh, I loved you in Star Wars. You were so awesome. I said, I loved you in Long Way Round. My wife's Peruvian, and we watched it together, and that's how we fell in love. And he's like, oh, that's great, and shook my hand. And I was like, fuck yeah, I just shook Space Jesus' hand.
I'm never washing this hand again.
No, I watched it. I had a lot of tacos and a lot of sauce all over my hand. I shook his hand. I was happy. I got my pop sign. I got my photo. This great guy, Mickey Queller, has been doing all these Photoshop jobs on my
he does a good job, man.
Celebration
They're
photos.
really
He took
good.
the partition. Oh yeah, I got my photo with Ian McDiarmid, C-3PO, Tem, and actually, funny story. So you're only allowed to do 2 photos, 2 persons per photos, but the Scruffy boys are like, no, let's try and get a foursome by having 2 tickets to the same thing. They asked the girl, she said no. And I didn't get the memo because I was on the phone at Qantas trying to book my flight a day earlier. Like literally, I was on hold for 40 minutes, and then they finally pick up as the photos, we get to the photo booth. I'm like, fuck me. And in that photo, I have the AirPods on, and I'm on the call, and I forgot to take them off. But anyway, I didn't get the memo that we couldn't do it, and they start lining up. And I'm like, wait a second. I jump in front of the camera. I'm like, no, we're doing 4. And Thames was like, what's going on? I go, we're doing 4. And Thames like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, sweet. And then the lady's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, took the photo, and I'm like oblivious. And she's like, and all the guys like, what did you just do? I was like, I thought we were doing 4. She said no. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. But we got the foursome.
This is such a Matt thing.
But I literally was like,
so
no. And Tam's probably like, some crazy Aussie guy just bombarded the photo. So
and didn't you Photoshop yourself out of that shot and put Jimmy in?
I did. Well, Chris was like,
from Scruffy.
Chris was like, you fucked my photo, man. I actually didn't want you in the photo. So I was like, oh, well, that wasn't made clear to me. Why would you invite me to the photo if you didn't want me in it? Like, but he's just mucking around. Although on this signed poster, it says, because Chris Hall did this this poster from the Steel event. Thanks for fucking up my photo, you cunt. So it's said with love, I think.
Love, Chris.
Oh, mate. Do you want to do day 4 before I ask the next thing?
Yeah, we'll do day 4. We went to Steele's event that night.
Yeah, that night. Yeah,
that was a busy
night. It was
night.
never ending.
We just had shit on non-stop. Steele's erotic fan fiction with Emily Lind and Tom Chansky and Dominic Jones from Star Wars Underworld.
Was Steele signing photos of him in Obi-Wan?
He wasn't, but
he gave out some stickers. He had some custom stickers made.
I've got them right here.
So he was handing out some custom stickers. Steele Saunders as Ajax Citizen in that sort of blue writing Star Wars.
Here we go. He
had those made.
That's pretty cool.
So he had those pre-made, obviously.
I took the Thrawnbrook.
He was so excited to share with everyone.
But funny story about Steele. I was with him for about 2 hours on that Tuesday, and he said, "Oh, would you mind taking a photo of me and this guy?" And I'm like, "Sure, no worries, of course, deal. Fuck, I'll carry your boots." And anyway, he's like, "Oh, but you stay over there for a sec," because they were having this really weird conversation, and I'm like, "Why is he not introducing me to this person?" Like, he introduced me to all these other people, but then he gets really cagey around this one guy. And I figured it out today when the guy goes, "Oh, look, guys, I can finally announce it that I was an extra in Kenobi. This is me. And I'm looking, "Oh, I took that fucking photo." And I messaged Steele. He goes, "Oh, dude, I was this close to being busted. I'm so glad you didn't figure it out, because that was the closest I got to letting it slip, because they literally just bumped into each other like, 'Oh, we were on the show together.' Like, shut, keep it cool. I can't say anything. This guy has a big mouth." And then I said to Steele, I said, "Oh, now I know what it's like to be those stormtroopers who almost caught the droids." But yeah, he said, "Oh,"
and I think is this the same day that you had that photo bomb of the interview that Steele was having with our fellow friends at the Today Show?
I didn't photobomb. Okay, so that was the same day.
You were called out. Let's be fair. You were called out.
You were kind of invited, though. You said,
Yeah.
I think.
So
we knew it was, or you knew it was going on.
Obviously, I've got a relationship with Carl Stefanovic. Anyway, I said to him, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to be on leave for a week. This person will have my out of office." He's like, "What are you doing for a week?" I'm like, "I'm going to LA." He's like, "Oh, you're going to Vegas?" I'm like, No. Star Wars convention." He's like, "Oh, come on." And I'm like, "Yeah, all right." He's like, "Can you buy me a lightsaber?" I'm like, "Oh, all right." Anyway, he goes, "Oh, we should totally do a segment. You should do it." And I'm like, "Oh, not sure work would like that. Probably need to keep a low profile." He's like, "No worries." And then he messaged me going, "Oh, we're doing the segment anyway." And then because David's like, "Oh, hey, Matt, do you want to go on this Today Show segment?" I'm like, "Dude, I was the reason the segment exists. Like, but no, thank you. But you guys go." And he's like, "Steele's in it." I'm like, "Great, cool. And then Carl's just like, "Oh, mate, we've got it all sorted. Try and get him amongst it or something." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, okay. I don't want to be in it, but I'll just watch." And then, so I'm watching it, and then he
calls you out.
He calls me out, and then I got the
shirt on. He calls you a high up exec at Combank.
I believe he said,
but he has the shirt on too.
The shirt on.
I had the shirt on, and
he knew what was going to happen.
I had a feeling he'd throw me under the bus. So he goes, "Oh, one of my good friends, thanks, Carl, and high up at the CBA, thanks, Carl." And funnily enough, I've had a chat with group exec and CEO, and they said that it shows that CBA has a human side. So they're very happy.
There you go.
That's good,
Vasco,
man.
not so much.
That was positive.
Nah, Vasco was cool.
It was good.
But I'll put that up
everyone
on the...
everyone around the office loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the segment. I've just seen the stills.
I'll put it up on our Instagram reel. A little moment in Channel 9, but I'll send it through to you too, Cal. But no, that was a good little moment, and we've been busy in the media this week. Putting through the putting the pod on the radar.
Putting stickers on people.
Oh yeah, I was putting stickers on everyone. People's backs and everything. That was good.
On
Josh told me to take it off.
Yeah.
I was that annoying guy, but day 4, the bad bitch, Rika, Amiga, Echo. Tick. You go, Turbo. What were we doing?
We were back at the Galaxy stage. Is that right? Yeah.
Galaxy stage. Yep.
Galaxy stage where we were on the first day. It was kind of moving along. Interviewing D. Bradley Baker, who does all the voices. That was pretty cool. It was kind of a bit of a slow panel for me up front, but towards the end,
Callan, I know you'll love this because once we talked about this, you once thought, does D. Bradley Baker do the lines individually and they sort of then just match them up, or do you think he does? He just goes from character to character as per the script. He did a.
I thought it was character to character.
Did a like a live scene from like about 3 minutes, and he just went from one to the next one, and it was mental. Like he just went from Tech to Wrecker to all of them.
Didn't miss a beat.
It was insane. I was just watching, going, fuck, Callan would love this, because we were like, nah, do you reckon he's in the studio just going, you know, just from one to the other like some sort of schizophrenic person? Yeah, he just went through about 6 characters in 2 minutes.
That's awesome.
That was good. Trailer, really good trailer. What did you think, Turbs?
Well, no, before that, I think we got a 2-minute scene, like single scene. Is that right?
Oh shit!
No, that was just filler. That was mostly scenes from the from the trailer. That was good, but we thought we were going to get an episode, didn't we? We thought. Excuse me.
Yeah, it was going along, and it got to sort of 30, 40 minutes in. We thought we're not going to see an episode, so we got the sort of 2-minute sort of scene, and then we got the look at the poster, which is pretty cool. Which I didn't get. They were giving away posters, and I think we sort of ran out towards the end.
What was the scene about?
It's where they're set up on some random island now. Amiga looks a bit older, and just a scene with some space crabs. Really, they're sort of attacking the ship.
Yeah, they were sort of running through some water, sort of through sort of a lake, or not a lake, but like a sort of a creek.
Beachfront.
When's it due?
28th. September 28th. Yep. Going to overlap with Cassian's episode 6, so we are going to get double dose of Star Wars. There we
go.
There's the content you've been looking for, Callan.
Yeah. Are you going to be able,
Star Wars self. Are you going to be able to pod about non-stop. 2 things?
Yeah. See how we go. So the trailer was at the end?
The trailer.
Did they release the trailer beforehand?
No, but
the trailer's released now.
Yeah. But it's different. It's different. So it's in different.
It is slightly different, yeah.
You guys get the pleb version. We get the Gungi Lives.
Gungi. Gungi?
Cody's in it.
I thought it was Gungi.
Gungi.
Who's in it?
Commander Cody. He's not in the trailer, I don't think, you see. Or is it? I haven't watched it. I've only seen the Celebration exclusive. But I heard Commander Cody's not in your trailer, but he's in mine. He got a big cheer.
And Amiga looks like a powerful mother effer. She looks sick.
No, she's just starting to hold her own a bit, so that's good.
Yeah.
Now, Turbo's going to need to lead the front here because I think I was out shopping and trying to get Grogu's, but Tales of the Jedi, this is the one thing I do regret not seeing.
No, I didn't see it either. No, so that's the one thing I regret too. For some reason, I didn't see it. That was on the
6
4th
episodes,
day, right?
3 episodes about Ahsoka as a baby with her mum, and young Dooku as a Jedi, young Qui-Gon as an apprentice.
Oh wow, that's
an animated series.
Young Qui-Gon's voice is voiced by Liam Neeson's son. Apparently.
Oh,
that's
man,
sick. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but there's been an episode.
So it turns out it has nothing to do with, I don't know if you're familiar with those comics in the sort of 90s, Tales of the Jedi. Yeah. It's nothing to do with that. So they've just taken the logo and the name and they've got 6 episodes there, repurposed it. But they could dig back in the past and look at sort of history of Jedi way back, but at this stage it's they've just repurposed it.
Animated as well, yeah?
Yeah, it's apparently animated in the style of kind of Clone Wars-y, Rebels-y kind of style. So that's all Filoni.
That's
Filoni
cool.
Just apparently had an idea and they said, come up with a budget and we'll do it. So apparently they've started off with 6 episodes. They didn't say how long they were though. I think they were kind of shorts.
Probably 20 minutes.
I don't think they're full 20-minute episodes, I heard. But again, I wasn't at the panel, so I thought they might have been shorter episodes.
I'm looking forward to that. That'd be good.
One other panel that probably my favorite panel, or I guess smaller panel that day on the 4th day was Creatures of Return of the Jedi panel. It was Tom Spina from Regal Robot. I don't know if you know that guy, with one of my favorite podcasts, Blast Points. They went through all these vintage photos of the Jabba scene. So all the creatures that they built for the Jabba scene, they went in depth into all that. They had this video that went for about 5 minutes that apparently no one had ever seen before. They've dug up from the archive and restored the the video. So it was all about all those just wacky creatures that you see in Jabba's palace and all the background to that and all their backstory about how they came to be. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a super cool panel. It was probably my favorite.
Did you guys go and check
panels.
out the costumes that they left out? Yeah, I think you did.
So
because you sent us
you're talking
some
about the
photos.
Mando experience. No, I did not. Again, Matt just stumbled into the queue for that one.
Okay, so no, I didn't actually. So I snuck into the Celebration store, which was like, you know,
so you snuck into somewhere,
like Lowe's after like Boxing Day sales at 4 p.m. Like it was fucking ransacked. And so I had this thing like there was all these lines. And I'm like, oh, look, I'm not doing the line. I'm leaving. And then I got to the exit, and then I turned around and had a look inside, and it's like, wasn't for me. And then I came out, and then I was being a bit lazy, and I saw my foot hurt as well. I saw this lift. I was like, okay, I'll get in the lift. I'll see where that takes me because I'm just walking around the convention center. I get out, and I'm in the Mando experience past the ticketed line. So I'm like, oh. And to the left is about 500 people waiting to get in. I'm like, oh, not that great. To the right is the experience. So I went left for a second, and then I pretended like I was going right. And there's no line police there. Then I walked in, and it was insane. It's all these everything from the Mandalorian. Like,
there's now going to be line police.
How do you manage to do this stuff?
There might not be line police, but imagine all the people in the line going, "Who is this jerk?" Really?
But they didn't see me. They were all in this like bloody sheep farm around the corner.
TMABY podcast.
Yeah.
Matthew Mole skipping lines at
I was in my bad
celebrations.
motivator shirt, so I was living up to the name bad. But no, it was awesome. So glad I saw it. Turbo, condolences. It was wicked. I'll send you some photos.
So funny.
Like there was like a full-on Nubian speeder, Quill, Cad Bane, Banthas, Armorers, Baby Yoda, like the full-on, the ones from the set. Everything. They're like, please don't touch it, don't destroy it. This is currently in use. We need this stuff, but we feel bad that we haven't seen you in years. So
that's pretty cool.
I mean, the thing is with all these lines and stuff, like a lot of people were probably doing it. Like the queuing system, the virtual queuing system, the Lightspeed Lane, the app stuff. Basically, every morning, I think it was like 8 a.m. or no 6 a.m. 9 a.m. You could go in this virtual queue to get a spot for the store, the Mando experience, all the lines for different panels, and you're on that app for like half an hour, and it was done for the day. It was like, nah, queue's full for the day.
It was full after. So, I mean, I logged on at 9 o'clock on the dot. Once I got through, sorry, everything's full. I'm like, oh. Like it's insane.
Yeah, wow.
You have no choice but to cut in or miss out. So. I made my choice.
That was a good choice. It was.
It was a good choice. I'll share that photo with you later. I got about 40 photos from the Mando experience, and no, it was really good.
I'm sure someone's done a walkthrough video. I'll have to search for that.
I'm sure.
So did you only hit Disneyland at the start? That was at the start?
Matt went to Disneyland with Josh and a few other guys on, was it the Wednesday? And that was when I was down at Hollywood. But the actual there was a Star Wars Disneyland After Dark Star Wars night, which was on the Friday night. So again, another full day, and we basically jumped into Disneyland at about 6 p.m. I think. So from 6 p.m. till 1 a.m. we were able to go to Disneyland. So again, another late night, 1 a.m. Sort of didn't get home till 1:30, 2 a.m. But yeah, that was insane because it was all at, as the sun was going down. So walking through Galaxy's Edge, Batuu, like you mentioned, the lightsabers at, I think 10 p.m. Everyone raising their lightsabers. It was just, kind of a magical experience. I think we both got to, I got to ride one ride each on the Rise of the Resistance and the Smuggler's Run with the Millennium Falcon. And I think Matt had a couple of goes on that, I think Wednesday and the Friday as well.
Yeah, I did.
That's cool.
That was when I started to get some orthotics for my shoes and painkillers, and I stupidly left the painkillers at home because I was like, oh, I feel amazing. And I was running around, I was jumping, I was like, yes, I got full function. And And then everything wore off about midnight, and I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. And so I hobbled back.
I gotta say the best person to have a ride with who was so excited was Catherine. So I got to ride Smuggler's Run with Catherine, and like she was over
In
the
her
moon.
element.
Like she was in heaven. I think she managed to go to Disneyland like 3 or 4 days. Is that right?
She stayed at the park. So she stayed for an extra 2 days at Disneyland Hotel. She went, to a Cassian doll everywhere, and she had a good old time.
Cassian photos everywhere. No, it was really good. Good to see. There was a good bunch of people around. You bump into a lot of people. You sort of each on the night. It was kind of you want to see go and do your own separate thing, but you'd always bump into each other in Disneyland. Give high fives in the queues and stuff. We also managed to get out of Galaxy's Edge, and I got to go to the Indiana Jones ride. I got to Haunted Mansion. The original Star Tours. I had a couple of rides on Star Tours, which was pretty cool, which is outside of Galaxy's Edge. And so it was basically just a frantic kind of 5-6 hours at Disneyland. So it was just intense days, long days. And again, when I'm not jet lagged because I don't recall sleeping that much either. So it's probably got about 5 or 6 hours, maybe 5 hours a night sort of thing.
Wow. And then Turbo, like the champ that he is, got me into the lounge at the airport with his gold status Qantas.
Yes.
And there we did the interview with the New Daily for the article about the future of Star Wars. That was a nice little way to finish the week off.
So you got papped. You got basically papped on the way out.
Oh, no, I offered those photos. Free. No. So funny story. Like this chick messaged me like, "Oh hi, I've got a deadline of 4 p.m., which was like 5 hours to go. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Star Wars, the future." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'm just literally coming home from Celebration now. I'll buzz you in 90 minutes when I'm at the airport." And then she's like, "Oh, holy crap! You've got everything I need." And so I just gave her all this information. Photos of my son and me doing Star Wars shit, me and Ewan McGregor, and 20 minutes of my time, and she's like, "I think I got enough." And the article was out by the time I arrived on back in Sydney, and we'll share that in the description. But yeah, it was a really good article. Love reading my own words. So
You narcissist, jeez.
well, I like listening to my own podcast. Nada.
That's true.
When I edit it. But no, that was really good. Even my dad read it. He's like, that was a good article. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, I sent it to Dad as well. And then
your dad. Your dad's been texting me. He said Lumi's watching Kenobi. I was like,
that was cute.
I was like, who the fuck is this texting me? And I was just like, so I just sent a photo of me and you and go, good show. And then like, because it's my work phone, it sort of just auto added the contact going, James Shakars. I'm like, because I didn't have we never had anything, but it sort of just auto done it. So I was like, good thing I didn't go, who's this? That would have hurt. It'll hurt now when he hears it later.
Actually, one celebration moment we forgot to talk about, and it's probably one of my favorite moments, was Kev from the Scruffy Looking Podcasters. We watched the Nottingham Forest playoff game for the championship, and I've never seen someone so excited by promotion as Kev was. So that was probably my highlight. That was about 8:30 in the morning. I think it was before the Bad Batch panel.
Yeah, I came for about 45 minutes of that game, or 50 minutes, but I'm like, I'm not missing the Bad Batch because I thought we'd get an episode. Josh picked me up in the middle of on the way. I jumped in the car. So good luck. You're 1-0 up. There's nothing I can do. And I was just watching it live for him. It was a good moment.
But in the end, I was only 10 minutes late for the Bad Batch panel anyway, so I didn't miss anything.
Well, you missed 10 minutes.
So there you go.
10 important minutes with Brad Rao. But tell me, boys, you've been quiet this whole time. How did you find episode 1 and 2? The double episode. We'll just gloss over it quickly, but tell me, how was Kenobi for you, Dylan?
It was as good as I expected it to be. I don't think I've come out of... Yeah, I think coming out of Mando, it had a different pace, but I liked it. It wasn't in my face right away, and it threw a lot of subtle, back to the prequels, a bit more expanded bits and pieces. Great lines, just really well delivered lines. So
I enjoyed many of the things in that show, like going back to Alderaan, which Turbo didn't think we'd do. Right now we're on a one-way phone call between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. That's coming, mate. That's coming.
Yeah,
that is so coming. He's like that chick from Game of Thrones. She's refused the call, but he's gonna pick up. Cal, what about you, mate? Where did you watch it?
I watched it I had the kids in bed early. Watched it actually on my laptop in bed with the headphones on, blaring. Yeah. And so much, it was so loud that I didn't realize my wife walked in and I just saw a shadow midway through watching episode 2. I'm like, oh, there's a robber in my room. All black, absolute panic station. Threw it all off and realized it was my wife sitting in the back of our room. Anyway, it was, I was so engrossed in it. It was sick. I love seeing the prequels at the start and that, like the background again. It was just, I was hyped. And I love that there's a journey already. There's like, it's not, there is a big amount of haters out there that are, I think people really had weird expectations of Obi to start kicking ass and, but you could really tell he didn't want to love it straight away.
With guilt.
Yeah,
man,
it was good, man. He's such a good fucking actor.
Jumping ahead very
looks
quickly,
damaged.
just so I can touch on one thing. Did you guys notice in episode 3, inside Vader's castle, the room with all the lightsabers and the youngling helmets?
I heard about this.
I did see that. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I got to
fucked up.
I got to rewatch it again. I haven't rewatched it.
Pay attention when it's like on a white display that goes all the way around the room. Just lightsaber, helmet, lightsaber, helmet. It's fucked up.
Another one for my collection.
A fine addition to my collection.
Actually, one thing I just thought, the first scene on chapter 1 or episode 1 with Order 66, was that the first time we've seen a clone trooper in live action? Because all the clone troopers in Attack of the Clones and Sith were all CGI, right?
Boba Fett?
So,
Book of Boba?
Maybe they were in, but they never had a physical clone trooper uniform until then. Well, that was pretty cool. I really liked that opening scene, flashback to Order 66. One thing, Matt, they weren't convors and there's no Ahsoka yet.
Not yet. No, I don't think she's coming.
Not yet.
No, you thought they were convors. I'm going to point out that.
Look, scatterguns get wrong from time to time.
That's right.
They miss. Sometimes they hit. But no, what did you think of little Leia, Cal, as a man with two boys?
I thought she was a really good, what do you call it?
Actress?
Chosen actor, yeah. And
she was great.
The racing scene when they chased her was like, that was the only cringe moment for me out of the whole thing. I was like, okay. Yeah, that was just fucking slowest two fucking monsters on earth. Like, it was
turning
like very
circle of a truck.
Yeah.
Flea's not a very good runner.
She's gone left. What do I do? Oh, that was a bit weird. Like, you're 8 years old, 10 years old, and adults can't catch you. But
yeah, no, I thought she was such a good. Like, it was so good. I'm loving her in it. And yeah, that casting was like top shelf.
Carrie Fisher would be proud, man. For sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
Reva, is it Reva? Yeah.
Yeah, Reva.
Fuck me, man. I've been saying it the whole way along. She's going to be bad. Man. She is a bad bitch. And I love every moment of it.
She's on a mission. Mad agenda.
That throw just, and she's like, fuck this Grand Inquisitor's pissing me off. Pegs the knife at the guy's head.
But I also think she's got something against Vader as well. Like, not only she's trying to track down Obi-Wan, she's got a thing for Obi-Wan or some sort of vengeance, but I think she's going to do something
I think,
try
yeah,
something with
I
Vader.
honestly think there's a redemption arc here, because once I saw her look at that Jedi symbol in that little cave in episode 3, man, something triggered her. I don't know whether it was from when she used to be a young apprentice or not,
She's the youngling in that first clip, surely.
Yeah, has to be, right? So
maybe she blames Vader for Order 66, and she blames Obi-Wan for leaving her at the temple. Maybe they were just too busy with the message or something in the thing, and they're
because didn't they say don't go to the temple or something? Wasn't there that message?
Obi-Wan and Yoda came in and sort of had to break into the temple and then change the message because it said come to the temple for safety.
Yeah, right.
And they changed it. So
she's got something against both of them for sure.
But can we just take a moment to talk about the fucking Grand Inquisitor part? Because they can't be retconning Rebels. There's no way.
They're not. Just relax, Dylan. Obi-Wan Kenobi, whatever the writer is, said they would never break canon. Utapauans also, this is from my research, have 2 stomachs, and there are things like Bacta tanks. And also, Rupert Friend is credited for 5 episodes as opposed to everyone else who's in for 6.
Good.
So,
and also, Darth Maul was chopped in half and he survived. It's fine.
So he'll be back, and that's just going to cause more shit for Reva. So the Inquisitors will have some civil war. Obi-Wan will be chasing back Leia. I mean, episode 3. Let's just go quickly through it. How fucking scary was Vader just snapping necks like they're chickens?
Oh man,
brutal,
it was fucking dark. It was like
it was
It
insane.
was horror movie.
But this is the
horror
Vader
movie stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, but this is the Vader that we've been waiting to see. Like in the comics and all other material, he's portrayed as being this absolute brutal monster, and this is the first time we've actually seen him just in that darker mind state because it's so raw.
Yeah,
it's the first time
real, man,
in history that Vader has been outside ever.
That's true. Yeah,
he's never been outside.
Yeah.
He's been on a Death Star, Star Destroyer, inside a cloud.
Better my first day out. Snap some necks, drag some people. Why not?
Yeah, it was
do some
brutal,
barbecuing. I didn't even pick up on that. There were barbecue coals the first time. I thought his lightsaber just ignited the floor because. I don't know. I had to watch it again to really see it, but far out. It was so dark and scary, and Obi-Wan was so hopeless. And there's good theories. Like, he was just, like, scared shitless from what he was seeing.
Oh, yeah.
And also Vader was like, what the fuck is this? This is pathetic. And that's why I let him go. He wants him to be scared and come back at me with some real
he actually says I'm gonna make you suffer just the way that I did, like it's almost like
the flames were like I did not expect the snapping necks drag into the flames. Like he wanted to play with him. It was
the way and the way Obi-Wan or Ben screamed, it's very reminiscent of how Anakin screamed when he was burning. Like it's almost the same type of scream.
How sick's that fucking
scary.
droid? How sick's that droid? Big fucking hammer holding behind him. I wanted him to absolutely tonk something with that.
Just bang on the hammer bro style.
Another droid for the bloody toys. It'd be good.
Oh, that's Ned. What's his Ned B? I think it's called.
Yeah, Ned
the
B.
lifter.
Yep, the loader droid.
Yeah, when Reva went into that room, there was a full vibe change of her character. I felt it. It was it'll be interesting.
In which
Quinlan
room?
Voss?
Oh, this is so exciting. This is so exciting. So are we of the opinion that Quinlan is going to be the secret key to Grogu?
Well, there's talk. Is O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Possibly
Quinlan Voss, or is
he's credited
Ice Cube?
For the next couple episodes?
He is.
Ooh.
But Sal Perales said.
Oh, you reckon that's O'Shea Jackson?
O'Shea Jackson.
You reckon
Jr.
that's O'Shea?
He's been doing some
Quinlan
Twitter
Voss.
posts that sort of point towards his character being Quinlan.
Okay.
So
I prefer Sal Perales, but we can dream.
Well, he said I haven't filmed anything recently, so we're in trouble. But look, there's so much to look forward to, and it's so hard. Like we flew back in same night, and now it's like Sunday. Thank God it's like only 3 days away, and we'll be watching episode 4. There's not a lot left. How did Reva get to the pilot before the kid? That's the one bit that confuses me.
Okay, so with the Jedi thing and that cave, it's like, follow the path. But for her, it's, she rather than looking at the path, she's found the destination on the other end. So it's like she looked. I think she looked down where it was going, and rather than going and following it, she almost just thought, okay, well, where's this going to lead to, and then went over there. I think that's as simple as it is.
Force jumped. Whoop.
Ran past the kid, killed the pilot, and then the kid arrived. From the hallway. But no, that makes sense.
Do you think we're going to get back to Tatooine? Surely. This is the thing I don't understand. So obviously it was a limited series, so there's 6 episodes.
Is it a limited series?
Well, no. See, recently, I think there's been talk of second series. So my question is, like, have they written it and filmed it in such a way that there's kind of closure as a limited series, or have they left it open-ended such that there can be a second?
Or they're
season?
Rewriting the ending.
Or they've filmed 2 endings to just hedge their bets. Don't know.
I think I like what you're saying, Turbo, around the closure piece, but then it's like, hey, there's still more story to be told here.
Well,
there's still another 10 years or whatever.
Well, we know Obi's not dead. We know David's Vader, so it's like it's.
But is he severely kind of debilitated from those burns, or like what's going to come of that?
The question becomes:
we're going to the Bacta tank, and we're getting flashbacks.
We're getting trauma flashbacks.
We're going to get Clone War flashbacks.
There's not enough chapters left for that many flashbacks.
There's plenty of time. It's 57 minutes. You can have 20 minutes of flashbacks, 30 minutes of baby Leia rescue, and 7 minutes of return to Tatooine and watch the farm.
Oh man, how sad was the 501st clone, the homeless 501st clone?
Tim. Yeah.
Tim doing
that's Captain Rex, wasn't it?
No, it's just the 501st clone. It's meant to be like a once the Empire was done with the Order 66 and the clones were just left and they all,
So it's just like an injured army vet, on the streets to beg.
It's meant to be a commentary of what happens to the vets when they come back home.
I wouldn't recognise him otherwise. He doesn't recognise.
It was a commentary of Tem's insane job security.
Job for life.
He actually was on the panel and he said, he's like, I'm Commander Cody. I'm Boba Fett. I'm Clone Trooper. Any of them. So he was in good form.
Too good.
So we got episode 4 in 3 days.
3 days.
What are we thinking?
Turbo, you like to speculate, so I'll put you under the hammer. What's happening next besides the Qui-Gon and?
I don't know what's happening next. I mean, obviously, there's got to be Quinlan Voss somewhere along the line. I don't know if it's next episode.
Well,
but I
maybe they won't.
Maybe they won't. Yeah.
Maybe he'll come in the Bad Batch. They're saving that for the Bad Batch. So
a bit of cross promotion there.
Yep.
Wouldn't be uncommon.
But I want to like, although the scenes with Uncle Owen were great. I think that friction there was really good in the first chapter. I want to see more of that, but I doubt we will, and I kind of doubt we'll see any more of Luke, and I doubt we'll see much more of Uncle Owen. But again, we haven't really seen Aunt Beru either. So, and she's like credited, and we've only seen her in the distance through the binoculars.
They'll be back. They'll be back because Deborah Chow was like, I'm so glad George Lucas hired Joel Edgerton because he's such a good actor. Yeah. And if his only line was that burn from the trailer, there's got to be more. There has to be more.
Yeah. So
there'll be more. Look,
but that would, you'd think that would be probably the last chapter 6 or something.
4 or 5, I think. Well, what if we get the whole flashback of Anakin and Obi-Wan in the, there's talk there might be a Satine flashback. There might there might be a here, day one returning him, and he comes back a week later and, we talk because he said we talked about this, Owen. When the time comes, he must be trained. Maybe they'll revisit that conversation. There's lots to do. Like,
what about? I was going to say, what about if we actually see, like, maybe say Leia gets saved, and then Obi-Wan returns to Tatooine with Leia, and maybe Leia and Luke sort of meet and don't realize that they're brother and sister.
Nah, that's not happening. Definitely not happening.
Come on.
What they're gonna put Luke and Leia together? Just that the people on Twitter would hate that.
How cool was it when she said, "Did you know my mum?"
You knew my mum, yeah. Oh, how heartbreaking when he goes, "Are you my real dad?"
Oh yeah, I was like,
and he's like, I wish I could say that I was, because your mum was so hot.
I got the vibe.
No, that's not why he was saying it.
Yeah,
no, I got the vibe
of.
It would have been
I got the whole like maybe he had. You know, there's more of a story there than I think meets the eye. But
I wish that I could say I was, but I did see your mum's hoo-ha in later. I delivered you with the droid. But no, that scene, I was just like, oh, that was so... The kid was like, are you my real dad? And he's... some good acting.
You are not the father.
What about Obi-Wan's brother? What's that about?
Well, that's a funny one because, you know, originally it was Owen Lars before the prequels were made, but that definitely does sort of open up Kenobi to be used in the future.
The Kenobi family tree.
The Kenobi trilogy. Who knows? Fun fact, that chick with the spice, his actual daughter. The one that goes...
And she's got a good mullet too.
She does.
Obi-Wan mullet.
What is it? Ewan's
that was Ewan's
real daughter.
No,
yeah.
I dropped the thing in the pocket.
Third generation McGregor. And
right.
Her name is actually her real name, just backwards.
Yeah, right. That was cool. She was cool.
That's a good way to get your child back on board after leaving their mum and marrying someone new. Come on the Kenobi show. Let's be friends. But no.
Too good.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward. We are 3 days out. It's been so good to see you guys. Talk Celebration. Meet Turbo in real life. He's just as cool in real life as he is on the Zoom call. But not long to go. We are going to be 4/6 of the way through. Andor's coming. What day? August 31?
28th, 31,
31st. So we'll have a bit of a delay between then, but. No, we'll be back next week to review episode 4 in great detail. Now that we've got all this celebration stuff, we'll have to organise a catch up so I can give you all your merch. I've got your beanies, got your posters. What else have I got? No, that's it. That's all you get. No, it's been fun, guys, and I look forward to our next episode. And may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with all of us.
Be with everyone.